Hi, thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Dave Crow. This is my final project for patient-oriented outcomes. It's my one of my sons and my daughter, Ava and Cutter. I have them up here because when I first was joining this program, I went and looked at all the sheets or all the classwork that we had to do. And when I saw this class, I had no idea. And I was in their room. They were running all around like crazy with me. I have no idea what patient-oriented outcomes is, but hopefully I'll prove that I've learned quite a bit through this class and through some other courses we've already taken. My patient characteristics, all my patients are from LaSalle College High School. We're located in Winmore, PA, which is basically right outside of Philadelphia. We play all our games in the Philadelphia Catholic League. My patients are 2 senior football players, 1 junior, and 2 sophomore basketball players. We have an enrollment of about 1,000 boys, a little bit more than that. That's about it. Okay, the power and value of outcomes. There's 2 types of outcome assessments that we've always done, or one type we've really done, which was a clinician-based, and that's getting somebody gets injured, we do your history, inspection, range of motion, soft tissue palpation, bony palpation, etc. Then one that we're learning about now is more the patient-based, where we're trying to get inside maybe the head of our patient a little bit more to find out what's going on with him or her. I'll keep saying him because again, I'm all boys school. And see if, her health-related quality of life, if it's any, if they're going down a little bit, if they're having trouble mentally with things, we need to know that. And that's what this patient-based does. It focuses on what the patient views as important. As far as the disablement models, this is the one we really rely on, the ICF from the World Health Organization. I'm also going to add in here the Institute of Medicine, their disablement model. It's really because one of my PROs that I'll be using was based on this IOM disablement model. Up here, this is the Biosphere 2. It's located in Oracle, Arizona, I believe. Little Arizona there for you guys out in Arizona. And it's pyramid shaped. And I just wanted to mention that one of the key factors of that pyramid structure we had earlier in the course, how we ultimately want to get to evidence-based practice. That's how healthcare professions are moving now towards this evidence-based practice. And that's the top of the pyramid. In the middle of the pyramid, that's our PROs. But how are PROs created? The PROs are created through these disablement models. So it's really important that we understand that so we know the value of the disablement models. And definitely on the IOM, pay attention to impairment, functional limitation, disability, and quality of life. I want to see that in the next slide a little bit. Here are the 2 PROs I used for this project. The lower extremity functional scale, that was for my specific one. We're doing ankle injuries. And then the disability and the physically active scale. This is the one I really like a lot because it was done by athletic trainers. And as an athletic trainer myself, we need to be supportive of each other. And both of these have been proven to be valid, reliable. So I figured this is a good one to use because it was based, 2 athletic trainers made it up based on the IOM model. In 2010, they did their study. I suggest looking at those. You probably already have them. But here are your impairments, functional limitations, disability, and quality of life. And I just highlighted the impairments questions here, the functional limitation questions here, the disability, and the quality of life. They did an extensive interview process to see how physically active people describe themselves when they're hurt, when things are wrong, and that's how they came up with this. Again, 2010 Journal of Athletic Training, really good article explaining that. So they're my 2 scales that I'll be using. My data collection, the assessment time points, I did 2 weeks. Took the day after an injury, so somebody gets injured on a Wednesday. Thursday, we took the first data point, and then 2 Thursdays later, we were able to take the second data point, and I was able to get both. I actually had 6 patients, but one I didn't get on was 2 weeks, so I wanted to keep him out of the equation. Logistics and administration of instruments. They say a lot in research that they've heard about garbage in, garbage out. We got to put in good quality data. And what I can control best is how I administer my instruments. They would come into my office before they did their rehab and at the 2-week mark, and then they would fill out the evaluation form. Kept that very consistent with how they did it. It was kind of quiet so they could concentrate on it. I think that was very important. Here is the table for the lower extremity functional scale scores by patient. I'm really going to focus on one patient here, actually patient number 1. But here's the data from all the patients. They improved on both scales. And the left scale, what happens is the higher score you get, the better you are. So everybody improved here, plus 39, 47, 48, 21, plus 33 within that 2-week time period. So we did have a lot of success with our chosen rehab techniques. Here is the disability and physically active scale. Again, just to make things complicated, they go in the opposite direction. The lower score is the better results. Everybody had positive results. It's negative here, but they went down, and that is a positive result. Again, the patient one, who we're going to talk about for a couple minutes, went from a 46 to a 23. I found a lot of interesting things here with patient one. He was the main guy here. This is a quote from him. I kind of got into this quote a little bit because after the season was over, he was not able to return to play. He had great scores. He felt a lot better, but ultimately we failed. He wasn't able to play in his last football game. Probably may play in college, may not, but he said he handled it better not being able to play because he was able to decide for himself. Now, we put him through, when he first injured himself, I thought he broke his ankle and he was done. Thankfully, he didn't. I was wrong. We like to be wrong a lot as athletic trainers. And he did not have a broken ankle. The orthopedic he went to is very, very good, well respected. Said, there's a chance maybe you can play in 2 weeks. I don't think there was any chance, neither did his mother. I don't think the orthopedic thought, but you can see that the kid, this was probably going to be it for him. So we worked really hard. He worked really hard to try to get back. We got to the point where he was suited up for the game, went out, tried to warm up, and just couldn't do it, and that was it. And he was done, and he knew he was done. And he handled it really well because, again, it wasn't us telling him that you're done, you can't play. He was able to give it every shot he had to try to play. He just couldn't. Now here are his scores. At first he scored a 31 out of 80 on the lower extremity functional scale. Very low scores, you can see. 0 is no problems, or is I can't perform, all the way to 4, which is no difficulty at all. So he's having a lot of difficulty here. I want to concentrate over here on post 2 weeks. His score jumped up to a 70. That's a huge success. He was doing a lot better than I ever thought he would. And I was hoping against hope he could maybe play. Deep down, he probably could. And as we looked at this, this was, I believe, a Wednesday. The game was Friday. So we're looking at these scores that he gave on the second time. And he's improved great up here. But down here, where you can see the QRNS, running on uneven ground, making sharp turns, running fast, hopping, he still was very, very low. It was quite difficult for him to do. He went from 0 just to 1. A lot of these other things that don't pertain to playing sports, and he was good, so that's what made his score really elevate. What this score does show is the 70 out of 80, that's an 87.5 when you divide it. So he probably was about 86.5 or 87.5 health-wise. When your coach says, what percentage is he? He's probably about 87.5% wise based on these scores. Hopefully I'm reading that right. If not, your comments, Dr. Lear, Dr. Simon, class, let me know. I think that's how I would read this, and I would tell the coach, hey, coach, he's about 87.5. But the problem is, if you look down here, where he has his actual functional running, playing, doing things, he still scored low. So even though he improved wonderfully and he was going in the right direction, to be able to play 2 nights after having these scores was going to be really hard. So that's when I really had a lot of success with learning to use this patient-reported outcome. And then I just put on here the disability, the physically active scale. Same type of thing here. Here's his first one. Again, high is severe, is having problems, low is good, so it is just the opposite. So here, he's having a lot of problems. There's very few things that are on no problem, and that's the quality of life. Come back here, moved over to the right a lot of things, which is good. He moved over to the left, which is positive up here. But when you look down again, he still had pretty bad here. He had moderate for running, jumping, agility, coordination, precision, balance, participating in my sport. He was still having some pretty bad effects there. It wasn't severe anymore. He still just couldn't do it. So it did kind of show up both PROs worked kind of the same. It did give us good data, which is what this program is all about, learning how to project data from our athletic training rooms. As far as reflection on basically not just this project, but the whole course and the barriers, it's kind of the point, if you want to keep saying you have barriers, you maybe just don't want to do it. It is difficult, believe me. I teach here, I'm the only one who works here as an athletic trainer, so time is an issue, but this didn't take me that long. It was about 5 minutes for the kids to fill it out. Once I kind of went over it a little bit, I had a nice learning curve. That decreased my time. So we got to break through that time barrier. They don't take that long anymore. Ironic thing is, I think it's hard for me to do it with the technology one. I think it's easier to do with paper. I wrote that post to someone else on their presentations, and they mentioned the same thing. It's kind of easier for me to do it on paper rather than on a computer. And as far as this learning curve, that's me. I have to learn how to just be patient, sit down, go over the data, sort of analyze it myself, and that'll also decrease the time I have to spend doing it and give me a lot of data. Lastly, change is good. We have to go through this. What are some benefits, successes we have? Well, the benefits we can get, again, is the athlete. Physically, I know how they're doing. Mentally, that's the problem, and that's what these patient-reported outcomes can help. How is their health-related quality of life? And I think as it gets drawn out further, this was kind of successful with just ankle injuries, but if someone is going to miss a month or 2 months of their season, they may in the beginning have positive quality of life scores. Maybe initially the first 1 or 2 they fill out, but then, okay, they adjust a little bit, then maybe they start to get depressed again later on in their rehab when they realize they're not able to, maybe finish their season or be back for the playoffs, something like that. So that's where we'll get a lot of benefits, where I can see maybe this athlete's having trouble if we keep, testing them over, every week, every other week. As far as the successes go, what really helps me is coaches. The coaches can. It's going to help me with coaches and tell by looking at these, as I said before, hey, this athlete, they may be an 87% coach healing-wise, but as far as their things that they still can't do is all related to their sport, so they might not be able to get back to play. So that's something where I think I'll have a lot of success, because dealing with coaches is how long is he going to be out? It's one of the hardest questions I get. You just don't always know. It's tough to tell. There are my references. And pay good attention again. 1 and 5, they are athletic trainers who built a disablement for the physically active model. And then the big lead is a physical therapist for the left scale. 2 really good articles to check. 3 really good articles to check out if you have. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. I look forward to your feedback. Have a good one.